We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on the Miami Dolphins offense once Tim Boyle came in the game versus Seattle, and kind of how it looked different with Boyle in the game over Skylar Thompson. And honestly, Boyle looked way more comfortable and decisive, which is kind of crazy. I'm not making this video to hype up Boyle or anything. Like, I want to give him his props because he definitely played better than Skylar, but to me, Tyler Huntley is still the answer for the Dolphins at quarterback right now with Tua out. I think they got to get him up to speed. He's the only one that I think they can really have a chance of winning. I think if Boyle has to start in game from start to finish, he would show off his struggles. He still wasn't perfect, but clearly the offense was able to function at a higher rate. They still couldn't finish, but some of that was on Boyle, some of that was on the players, like dropping touchdowns like that for Durham Smythe, that type of things. But the offense definitely looked better once Thompson went out. No offense to Skylar, it's just he was really, really bad in this game, like as bad as you can see a QB ever play. But while Boyle played with pretty good comfortability and decisiveness, which is definitely helpful for the offense in general, I do expect the offense to look a little bit better next week. I don't have super high hopes for Tennessee. We'll see who ends up playing. I want to see Snoop out there. I think he gives you the best chance of winning, but the Titans game is very winnable. I think Boyle just came in and just played with confidence. Like, even this type of stuff, working this concept, like they kind of run their the concept they run a lot in the RPO game with their passing here, but it's play action, so it's clearly a pass, not an RPO. But they're using the same kind of concept. Angled, leaking out. Tyreek's the first read. It's sort of taken away here. There's no real window to take it to. So Boyle comes off it and decides to throw. I don't love throwing a wheel route to Angled versus Devin Witherspoon, but he puts it up where, in a good spot where the DB's not going to have a chance to intercept it or anything. I don't mind the aggressiveness. And then he gets, a foul call. They get pass interference. They move the ball down the field. So I kind of like how he came out and played with some confidence. That was nice to see. It wasn't always perfect, but just looked comfortable in the pocket. Like here, play action again. He definitely looked way more like his footwork in the pocket, the timing of everything. Like hit back foot, good base, and the first read to Achan's not there. He comes off of it. Tyreek's working down the field. There's no real dump off option. They block this up. So Boyle just takes off with his legs, picks up 7-8 yards. This is why I want to see Huntley. And I do think, if Huntley is the starting quarterback, the offense schematically does have to change at least a little bit. I don't think you can run these types of concepts consistently. But at least if you're running these concepts over and over again, I think, and Boyle's the quarterback, he gives you a better chance at this point than Skylar, which is, kind of sad to say, but it's the truth, at least from this Seattle game. And this was his best throw of the game, and honestly, this Johnny Smith one, the play action, fake the toss, you create a clean pocket with your play action work here with how you set up front, and then he comes off the first read. He sees the linebacker, he sees his back, he sees the back of the backer, and then throws the ball to Johnny Smith with really good placement, anticipation, that type of thing. That's nice to see. It's an element the offense didn't have at all in this game without Tua, and that's a very tough window throw to make. I at least loved seeing some confidence out of him. And I think Jonnu definitely needs to be more involved within this offense as a receiving threat, because I think he can take advantage of those middle of the field throws and almost potentially could have scored here if he slipped underneath that guy. But just plays offense looked more consistent, and I think he kept it fairly simple. I think McDaniel, when it wasn't always just trying to put the ball down the field, and that's the kind of thing with the offense is Skylar didn't rip a lot of those throws. Tyreek was open multiple times on some in-breakers, and he just didn't throw it. And on these throws, Tyreek's still working down the field, but he's not really open just due to throw. But Boyle's still trying to rip to other people, or he's taking off with his legs, or he's throwing to other options, getting penalty or PI potentially called, or he's taking a nice check down. He just played with more confidence and definitely was way more aggressive and comfortable within the pocket, but it wasn't perfect like this right here. This is potentially a missed touchdown that I think the other quarterbacks could have taken. They're running, cover 2 here. This DB, he just he sees he gets one-on-one here with Waddle and a linebacker, he's matched up, but he's got to read this corner in this situation, identify what this guy's doing. If he's going back on quarters, then yeah, you take the one-on-one to Waddle, but if he sits down here in the flat, that's why you should give it a little bit of a hesitation. Once you see this guy sit on this, you have to rip this hole shot to Jonnu Smith, because you would have a touchdown, because this safety is not wide enough in his deep half to make this play. So potentially a missed touchdown there. This is the type of play I've seen Tua throw. He actually feels very comfortable making these types of reading the flat corner. So that's a potentially missed touchdown that the quarterback had. But overall, he was still kind of let down later on. Here he comes out, boom, by Julian Hill. I love the basic concepts they ran, where they just had like Julian Hill or Johnny Smith sit over the middle of the field. They get down in the red zone. It doesn't always need to be super complicated play action. There's the timing of everything. You have to rip this one throw with great anticipation. Sometimes just making things easy on your quarterback. When you see space open up underneath because the linebackers want to gain depth to take away these throw to Waddle and Tyreek, just take the quick little 5 yards to your tight end, and then he also can get upfield and fight forward and fall forward for, 10, 11. And that happened a couple times with Julian Hill once Boyle came in the game. So just taking free opportunities to your tight ends like that, making things simple. Obviously, it's easier said than done, but being able to show that throughout the game, I think, is a positive for your QB. This was also one of Boyle's best plays, reading this concept here. Tries to see if Tyreek's there. It's not going to be open, so he doesn't pull the trigger. Working here, his last read would have been Waddle coming across, but he sees Durham getting open to like have a chance back corner of the end zone. He's under pressure, delivers a good ball with touch over the top, lands and Durham puts it only where Durham has a chance to make a play, and then Smythe just drops it as he goes to the ground. That's about as good as it gets down in the red zone under pressure throw from Boyle. Like, definitely played way better than I expected. I still don't have high expectations for Tim Boyle, as like if he had to play full time, which he might be. We don't know if Huntley will be ready, but Huntley is definitely the best option to actually win the game. I don't think Skylar should see the field again, unfortunately for him, but that's just missed opportunities that the Dolphins kept having. But at least with this drive, with Skylar, they only got down here once, and that was because of an interception. The Dolphins were able to actually drive with Boyle down here and at least give themselves an opportunity. Here, he just seemed indecisive. This is like one of the plays down the red zone where he looked a little rough. Like, it looks like this play is designed like to this. Like, first of all, if he starts to the right, he probably has Durham for a touchdown. But I understand he's starting to the left here. He kind of likes what his look is, even though I wouldn't mind starting to the right because he gets a 2-on-2 to this side of the field. This one is more like this guy is kind of involved, so it could be a 3-on-2, but this is more of a 4-on-3 to this side. But to me, this concept looks like they're running a rub route with Tanner Connor and Jalen Waddle, and he's kind of reading through this. Like, if Waddle sits and is open right away, you throw it and rip it. He didn't. He probably could have ripped this to Waddle instantly. If he doesn't rip it to Waddle, he could throw it to Achane because they're running this rub route, and 22 gains enough depth where if the ball is out to Achane quickly, there's potential touchdowns there. There's Durham as well, so that's like the inefficient inconsistencies, and he throws it way too late, and that was 4th down too. So those are some of the problems that you could see on film with Tim Boyle coming into the game. Like, obviously his stats have always been bad throughout his career. You don't have super high faith in him, but it's honestly crazy how much still, even with those types of plays, he looked better than Skylar Thompson out there. Some more of these quick hitters over the middle. Thanks to Julian Hill. Julian Hill actually looked pretty. I know he had some bad penalties in this game, but he actually looked pretty comfortable in these areas, catching the ball, finding the soft spot, and then falling forward for extra yards. Loved seeing that. I think keeping linebackers honest with this type of stuff is huge, especially because imagine you start doing this, boom, they start driving on this. Instead of actually, you give a little bit of a pump fake there, you manipulate with your eyes and body like you're going to throw it here, and then you rip the slant behind to whatever the receiver is. Here it's Ezukanma, but those types of things can get opened up. I just think it makes defenses have to respect this more, being able to be a little more versatile on offense. And the last play we're going to break down here, great play by Eskridge. At least Eskridge got one revenge play against his old team. That, honestly, this is probably the best rep I've ever seen Eskridge have in his NFL career. And this is actually what he did a lot in college. Like, he was really good, just off the line, giving you like a split release, boom, hard break to the inside, and then break away on like those slant, glance routes, post routes. Like, he looks way more comfortable on those in-breakers. And he just looked really explosive here. And honestly, all his routes, even the routes he didn't get targeted on, I felt like he looked explosive. And like seeing this from Boyle, especially this, I like seeing they go 3-by-1. They have a running back. So this, they have the nickel to the strength of the formation here, right? They're going too high, look, pre-snap, so split field looks. This linebacker is obviously not in this throwing lane. And then you have the running back pull this linebacker. So the running back goes up into him, pulls him, and then it just creates this whole space. The only way this space gets taken away is if this safety comes down. If that safety comes down, you go somewhere else, but the safety doesn't come down right away. So you have this one-on-one look right here, and it's able to get thrown into the window. Boyle throws with pretty good anticipation, hits Eskridge right in stride. Good to see Eskridge be on the same page. That's important for the offense. When you're on your route break, like, clearly he's at the right depth, and him and the quarterback on the same page, which is huge just for the offense in general. So like seeing that out of Eskridge, I wonder if he'll get more opportunities, because at this point, it's Tyreek and Waddle, obviously at your top, even though I feel like they're not playing as well as they could, which makes sense with the quarterback play. But I would think after that, Barrios doesn't have a single catch. I feel like the tight ends are getting involved. The running backs are obviously a big part. But receiver-wise, someone's got to step up. I'd like to see Eskridge and Ezukanma off the practice squad get some opportunities while you're waiting for OBJ and Craycraft to come back potentially, because I think they have just more potential. And I want Malik Washington to come back from injury, which it looks like he might be playing next week, because I think he was close this week, but he was limited at least. So I think he has a chance to come back, which is huge too. I want to see Malik Washington get a crack at that wide receiver 3 job, and then potentially maybe Eskridge, Ezukanma can be like a wide receiver 4 or 5 while the other ones come back, because Barrios seems like pretty much just a special teams only player at this point. So at least the offense was able to show a little bit of promise once Boyle came in the game. Hopefully they can maybe build off a little bit of the momentum. They weren't able to score, but they were at least able to sustain some drives. Because that was the thing with the offense throughout this game. They were not able to sustain any drives. Like, they had good plays, but after like the couple good plays, they just failed. Like, a lot of their first play of the drives were actually really successful. So hopefully being able to build off of that. Hopefully maybe Huntley can help with his legs. And I think he's actually still a good passer. Maybe hasn't run a system like this, so that's kind of the only pitfall potentially, I think, with him compared to the other guys. Is the other, like, Boyle has ran this system before when he was with the Jets. Huntley has never ran in this type of system, but it will be interesting to see if they mix things up. But he's definitely the most talented of the bunch and has the most experience playing and has won games in the NFL. So if you guys know the video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get started.